Learning objectives. At the end of this topic, you will be able to describe multiplication of any decimal of 1 or 2 decimal place. Understand solving problems involving multiplication involving decimals. Multiply any decimal number with 1-digit number. Multiply any decimal number with 2-digit number. Multiply any decimal number with 10, 100, and 1000. Understand how to solve problems involving multiplication of decimals.
I have colorful cubes to help us to model the number sentences. One cube represents 0.1 or 1/10. So, we'll use 2 cubes with the same color to represent 0.2. Let's model out 0.2 times 4 equals 0.8. Good, Rita, let's do it. This is our number line with mount 0, 0.1, 0.2 and 1, 1.1, 2 here, 2.1, 3.0, 3.5, 4.0 is here, and we start add 5.0. This represents 0.2. If the 0.2 times 4 means these 2 cubes multiply 4 times. Wow, it is at 0.8. What about 0. Right times 5? If this 0.8 5 times of 0.8 is 4.0. I want to show you how 0.1 is multiplied by 10. This is 0 point on the number line. This is 0.1 times 1. This is 0.1 times 2. This is 0.1 times 3. And this is 0.1 times 10. If 0.1 times 10 equals 1.0, 0.2 times 10 equals 2.0, and 0.3 times 10 equals 3.0, till 0.9 times 10 equals 9.0. We learned in class 6 that any number multiplied by 10, just place another 0 to the right. If 0.12 times 10, the answer should be 1.2. It is 2 decimal places. Now look, if 0.15 times 100, we're going to put 2 zeros, and with 2 decimal places, we'll give you the answer as 15.0. Now how do we multiply any decimal number with 100 or even with 1000? Yes, for a quick answer and easy to remember, do look at the number pattern shown. Do you realize the number pattern? I have 1 and 6/100 pebbles from these flats. I need 8 times as many pebbles to build a structure. How much pebble would that be? You have to multiply 1 and 6/100 by 8. We can use the vertical form. Write the digits in the correct place value. 6/100 times 8 equals 48/100. Write 8 in the hundreds column and regroup 4 in the tens column. Bring 4 down, and next 1 times 8 equals 8 ones. Write 8 in the ones column. Altogether there would be 8 and 48/100 purple.
Multiplying decimals is like multiplying any whole number. For example, multiply 4.032 by 4. Ignore the decimal point and multiply. The answer is 16,128. Now where should we place the decimal value? Yes, look back at the multiplicand. How many digits are there after the decimal point in the numbers? Yes, this means that the answer must have 3 digits after the decimal point. So the answer is 16.128. Remember to estimate and check. Let's round off without the decimal point to give the nearest thousands. Yes, 4.032 is around 4. Now, multiply 4 by 4 and the answer is 16. Our answer is reasonable. Let's calculate with 2-digit numbers and see the difference. Calculate 4.70 times 45. Let's apply the doubling method. Here we will double the multiplier. How many is doubled 45? Yes, double of 45 is 90, and this will make it easier for us to multiply. Ignore the decimal points and multiply 474 by 9. Is this the answer? This is not the answer. Can you tell me why? Yes, the multiplier is actually 90. So we have to add one zero to the product. So it's 42,660. The answer to 4.4 times 45. That is not the answer yet. So what do? Yes, divide the product to get the answer for 4.74 times 5. 42,000 divided by 2 is 21,330. Now where do we put the decimal point? How many places from the right of the number? Place the decimal point 2 digits from the right of 21,330. We can leave out the 0 at the end and just write 213.3. How do we multiply a whole number by 10, 100 and 1000? Look at the examples. 36 times 10 is 360. We add on 1 0. 36 times 100 is 3,600. We add on 2 zeros. 36 times 1,000 is 36,000. We add on 3 zeros. Notice that we add on as many zeros as appeared in the multiplier. How do we multiply a decimal by 10, 100 and 1000? Look at the examples. 7.32 times 10 is 73.2. We put the decimal point one place right. 7.32 times 100 is 732. We move the point 2 places to the right. Since all the digits fall to the left of the decimal point, the answer is a whole number, 732, which we write without a decimal point. 7.32 times 1000 is 7,320. We move the point 3 places right. To do this, we must add on 0. Again, the answer is a whole number. So remember to move the decimal point right as many places as there are zeros in the multiplier. Hello there. Wow! Look at all the delicious cakes, buns and breads. Rita and her friends are there at the bakery. Let's join them.
Look at these cakes. These cakes have a label. Look, it is written 1.5 kilograms. Oh, that means it is 1.5 kilograms. We've learned decimals in school. If there are 3 cakes at the same weight, what would we do to get the weight of all the 3 cakes? That's easy. We just solve the problem by multiplying 1.5 with 3. We'll get the answer. How do you know? Why must we multiply 1.5 with 3? Well, Neeta, each cake is 1.5 kilograms, the weight of 3 cakes of the same weight, so we multiply 1.5 with 3. Yes, that's right. We'll get 4.5 kilograms. That was simple. Anyway, we must always know how to collect information before we can solve problems.
Looks like the children have made friends with the baker. They're inside the bakery looking at the baker woman Rahima baking different kinds of cake.
Wow! It smells delicious in here. Auntie, it looks like you're baking a huge chocolate cake. Can you tell me about the main ingredients in this cake?
Of course. Now look at this table. I bake my chocolate cake here. Now let's see how many chocolate cakes we need to bake. This list says 4 people have ordered the huge chocolate cake. So I need to bake 4 chocolate cakes.
Why do people order such huge cakes? Can they finish eating them?
These cakes are bought by people to serve at the cafe tea room, Neeta. They cut the big cake into small pieces and serve them. Let's look at the ingredients that we need.
I see. Can I read the ingredients to you?
Sure, that would be good.
You need 1.2 kilograms of cocoa powder, 2.5 kilograms of all-purpose flour, 3.4 kilograms of butter, 0.7 liters of water, and 1.3 liters of fresh milk.
That's for one big cake. We need to bake 4 big chocolate cakes. What will I need to do? Can you help me to solve the problem, children?
Let's see. you need to bake 4 chocolate cakes. But your recipe only gives you the recipe for 1 huge chocolate cake. Don't you have the recipe to bake 4 cakes, Auntie?
No, my dear girl. This is the recipe I use if I want to bake 1 cake. I'll tell you how to use it for 4 cakes. Tell me, Neeta, what is the problem here?
The problem is we have the recipe for 1 cake, but we need to bake 4.
Now to solve the problem, what do we do?
To know the weight of 3 cakes, we multiply the weight of 1 cake with 3.
Yes. Now as we want to bake 4 cakes, we multiply all the ingredients by 4.
Okay. That means we'll know how much of flour, butter, water, milk and cocoa powder to use.
Yes. And there is a mathematical problem. We must always identify the operation to be used when we collect the necessary information. For this problem, the operation is multiplication and the information is the number of cakes to bake and the amount of ingredients needed. Then we solve the problem. Now who can tell me how much of flour we need for the flour cakes?
I can. 1 cake needs 2.5 kilograms of flour. Now for 4 cakes, we multiply 2.5 by 4. That will give us the product which will tell us how much is needed for 4 cakes. I will first write 2.5 times 4 in the vertical form. I align them in their places. 5 times 4 is 20. This gives me a whole number. So in the decimal place, I write 0 and bring 2 to the whole number. I put the dot on the left of the 0 to show there is only 1 decimal place. 2 times 4 gives 8. Now add the 8 to the 2 that was brought from the decimal place. So I get 10. This tells me we will need 10.0 kilograms of flour for the 4 cakes. That is 10 kilograms of flour. Oh, you used the multiplication of decimals that we learnt in school.
Yes. That should be the way you do it. Use what you've learnt in school to solve the problem. Now would you like to tell me how much butter is needed, Neeta?
Yes, Aunt Rahima, I'd like to try.
Okay, this time I want to know how much butter is needed to bake 5 cakes. I'd like to bake an extra cake to gift it to you. The cable car moves at 42.5 kilometers in 1 hour. How many kilometers can the cable car move in 8 hours? Let's find out. Step 1. Gather the given facts. 42.5 kilometers per hour for 8 hours. Step 2. Write down what is asked in the problem. How many kilometers can the cable car move in 8 hours? Step 3. What operation is to be used? Multiplication. Step 4. Write the number sentence. 42.5 times 8 hours. Step 5. Work out the solution. Ignore the decimal point and multiply. The answer is 3,400. Now look back at the number sentence. It is a decimal number with 1 decimal place. So the answer is 340.0. Omit the 0 after the decimal point. So in 8 hours, the cable car moves 340 kilometers. One of the cows gives 10.9 liters of milk a day. How many liters of milk does it give in 14 days? Write down the given facts. 10.9 liters of milk a day for 14 days. Write down what is asked in the problem. How many liters of milk does it give in 14 days? Write down the operation to be used. Multiplication. Write down the number sentence. 10.9 liters times 14. Solve the problem. Ignore the decimal point and just multiply like any whole number. The multiplier is 14, is also to be multiplied with 10 and 4. So first we multiply by 4 and then by 10 and we get 1,526. Now we look back at the number sentence. There is only 1 decimal place. So we put 1 decimal place in the answer. So the cow can give 152.6 liters of milk in 14 days. Let us see one more problem here. The table shows the cost of items in the hardware shop. Rohan wanted to buy 10 boxes of nails, 100 boxes of envelopes, and 1,000 bundles of plastic bags. Let's find out how much he had to pay for each of the items he bought. he bought 10 boxes of nails. Each box is 25 rupees and 20 paise. He had to multiply 25 rupees and 20 paise by 10 to know how much he had to pay for 10 boxes of nails. Remember in the previous lesson, ignore the decimal point and multiply the numbers. So, 2520 times 10, giving us 25,200. Earlier, we have the number with 2 decimal places, so we place the decimal point 2 decimal places. Zeros after the decimal point of the answer can be omitted. So he paid 252 rupees for 10 boxes of nails. The next item he bought was 100 packs of envelopes. Each pack costs 5 rupees 25 paise. So for 100 packs, we multiply 5 rupees 25 paise by 100. There are 2 zeros in the multiplier, 100. So move the decimal point 2 places to the right. And the answer is 525 rupees. Omit the zeros after the decimal point. The next thing he bought was 1000 bundles of plastic bags. Each bundle cost 8 rupees and 50 paise. So 850 times 1000 is 850,000. Look back at the number sentence. Move the decimal point 3 places to the right and the answer is seen. Omit the zeros. Congratulations! You have learned to multiply any decimal up to 3 decimal places with a 1-digit number, with a 2-digit number, 10, 100 and 1000. Decimals are multiplied like whole numbers and the decimal placed properly. The decimal point is placed such that the number of decimal places in the product equals the total number of decimal places in the numbers being multiplied. When a decimal is multiplied by 10, the decimal point shifts 1 place to the right. When the decimal is multiplied by 100, the decimal point shifts 2 places to the right, and so on. Note that any whole number can be treated as a decimal. Solve problems involving multiplication of decimals. Note that solve the problem step by step. Step 1. Write down the given facts. Step 2. Write down what is asked in the problem. Step 3. Write down the operation to be used. Step 4. Write down the number sentence. Step 5. Solve the problem.